prove you're not a scroll.
That's a photon blast.
And?
A scroll cannot do that.
I'm just supposed to take your word for that.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel over here at Brook Boy Gaming, and today we are reviewing Captain Marvel. So this is very exciting for me and Devin both. Obviously I am accompanied by Devin as always. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. It's a Friday.
Thank God
So
it's a
it's good.
Friday, man. We saw Captain Marvel last night. You went at 7. I went at the late night showing at 10:15. Didn't fall asleep, by the way.
That's surprising.
Yeah, man. I took a nice little power nap beforehand, so that was much needed and it helped me out a lot. Honestly, I don't think I would have fallen asleep either way because I went to go see it in the Dolby Cinema. So yeah, those Dolby Cinemas will definitely keep you awake with the seats rumbling on and on. But yeah, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen out there, we are reviewing Captain Marvel. So the way this is going to work is we're going to lay down a little bit of the groundwork first and, talk about our first impressions of the movie, do more of a non-spoiler section first, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty part of it later on, and we'll let you guys know once we get into the spoiler section. Yeah. Sweet. All right. So, Devin, what were your first impressions? Let's just start from the beginning. When the movie, when the trailers first came out, like from your first impressions, then as to seeing it last night, what were your thoughts overall?
The first few trailers weren't really like mind blowing or like crazy or anything. It was just kind of like, well, this looks like a solid movie. And that's kind of my first impression about the movie. It's just like a fun movie, nothing too mind blowing.
Yeah, like when I saw the first when I saw the first trailer, I wasn't turned off by it. I was I had the same excitement level as I do for any Marvel film because I enjoy them a lot myself, whether they be Thor 1 or 2 or whatever they are. Some are better than others. And when I went to the theater last night, I actually enjoyed myself a lot. Like I didn't really know what to expect with this. Like I know of Captain Marvel and I know of her story, but I think they did a really good job with it. I really did enjoy myself going to see this movie. And there was a few twists and turns within the film, as there is in every film, but I enjoyed the chemistry between Brie Larson and Samuel Jackson as always, and I really did enjoy the Skrulls and the Kree overall. It was just, I don't know, like you said, it was a fun ride. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't flashy, it wasn't trying like so hard to be like, oh yeah, like this is laying the groundwork for everything that's happening in Avengers Endgame and everything like that. It was serious enough to a point, but overall I liked the mystery. I really liked the mystery that's shrouded around this movie. So
it really was like a science fiction movie, like more than any other Marvel movie was.
And at times it gave me a little bit of that Guardian of the Galaxy vibe a little bit. I really did enjoy the soundtrack. I loved all the 90s references within the movie. It was like taking a trip blast from the past, and the de-aging technology that they use for Samuel Jackson. Literally, you look at him on that screen. If you
put Clark Gregg plays Phil Coulson.
Yeah, like it was crazy, but like you would never guess that Samuel Jackson is 70 years old, which he is. But like that de-aging technology was amazing.
Yeah, that technology is insane. They did the same thing with Tony Stark in Civil War.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, wow, this is pretty spot on. Like honestly, if you put a side-by-side picture between Samuel Jackson when he was like super young and this picture of him, in de-aging, honestly, it's pretty much like it's on point, honestly. But any other quick little thoughts before we get into more of the um before we get more into the nitty gritty, the non spoiler section.
Yeah, I kind of got some Star Wars vibes off of it. I don't know if that's just me. It's just like a lot of space travel, a lot of space laser fights. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then definitely give it a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was like I said, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of controversy with this movie, but we're not going to talk about that today because it's a movie and we're going to just review it as it is based on its own merits, and that's totally fine. So
It has its issues, but it also has its good things.
yeah, like literally, this is like a middle tier. Like it is not like the worst Marvel movie they've ever pumped out. Like honestly, I would put this like right at like the top of like their like middle tier movies.
Yeah, it's not top 10, but it's not like horrible.
But, yeah, it's not Suicide Squad or Justice League. Sorry for any DC fans out there. I like DC just as much as Marvel. I'm a little bit more biased towards Marvel, but I will say, I own Justice League on Blu-ray. I don't own Suicide Squad. I didn't really want to put myself through that. I can tolerate Justice League over Suicide Squad. But anyway, getting off track here. So let's get into the spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop the video right now, go see it, come back and listen to our spoiler section of Captain Marvel. All right, so let's talk about Goose.
Goose.
And
I'm a dog guy, dog person. Mm-hmm. So this is like the first time a cat has ever been enjoyable to me.
Yeah, oh my gosh. It was, and I know like in the comics, his name is Chewy, but I forgot the actual, it's an alien cat.
It's a Flurkin.
A Flurkin, that's what it was. But like, what were your thoughts about
how
Nick Fury lost?
See, I don't know. Like, it's kind of lame.
Like for me, I didn't mind it as much. Like I gave it a laugh and moved on in general. I wasn't really expecting any like a big like dramatic moment for him. Like, oh, like he got shot in the eye, or someone betrayed him and took his eye out or whatever. But like it was more of a silly moment for me.
The thing for me is whenever the first trailer came out that had Goose in it, everyone in the comments was joking like, "Oh, I guess that's how he loses his eye." And then that's what ends up happening. It's like, okay, it's a little lame.
He's like, "'Tis a flesh wound." He's like, oh, he's like.
I do like how they kept alluding to it throughout the movie because everyone in the audience knows it's gonna happen, so they just kept making you guess as to when it's gonna happen.
It was almost like in a Hot Tub Time Machine, how that one
guy.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up. Like he's gonna lose his arm at some point. You just don't know how.
It was the best.
Like, I really like that aspect of it because they got in the first car accident, and then he's like, "Well, how's your eye?" And he rubs it off. It looks fine.
Yeah, it's like a little bit more of a bleeding above the eye or by the eyebrow, and then he's trying to play with the cat, and the cat gets pissed off and just scratches him. And he's like, "I'll be fine." And like one of the Skrull guys, he's like, "Nah, fam." He's like, "You're done." Like,
so yeah, that's a good next topic. What did you think about the handling of the Skrulls versus the Kree?
Honestly, I thought that from the very beginning that the Skrulls were going to be the bad guys, but they definitely did a 180, and I ended up rooting for the Skrulls over the Kree because I knew that with Ronan and him being a Kree fanatic, there was something going on there. And then, you thinking that the Skrulls were going to be the bad guys or the villains of this movie ended up being her own squad. It's like, what? And I was like, okay, like that's actually kind of good. Like I like that writing. But honestly, I'm fine with it overall.
I know the comic purists out there are going to be not happy about the way they handled it.
Yeah, and like, as we were talking about this yesterday, as I was leaving the theater, like you mentioned, who's to say, we've only seen a small fraction of the scrolls so far. So
Yeah, there's a
between,
chance that the other scrolls out there, they said there's thousands of them out there,
yeah,
that there's still going to be evil ones out there, and they could use that moving forward.
exactly, because what the timeline, for Captain Marvel, that happens in the MCU timeline wise, that would put it right in between uh Captain America, the first Avenger, and Iron Man 1?
I don't think anyone actually knows what year like everything starts in, like Iron Man wise.
Yeah, because
They just
I
know
can't
it's
remember.
2000s at some point.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. Yeah, Captain America is definitely first. It's called Captain America first, the first Avenger, and then it goes over to Captain Marvel. But since we haven't seen Captain Marvel, since this is more of like an origin story for her, I kind of like how she already had her powers from the get go, and they shrouded that in mystery and kind of just like uncovered it as the story went on, kind of like with RoboCop in a way. Um, but yeah, I thought the scrolls were really good. I was looking for to root for someone obviously that wasn't on Captain Marvel's side until like the very end. But like I think they did a very good job with like the whole mystery, like like who's the scroll? Because like Carol Danvers, she was very skeptical like the entire movie of who was who, and she even mentioned that you can't even do a DNA swap because it would
They
be
copy the
identical.
DNA.
Yeah, and the only thing that you can really tell is scrolls can only copy like recent memories, and I thought that was really cool, especially when Nick Fury was saying that. He's like, yeah, he's like no one calls me Nicholas, like no one calls me Nick. And then Bree's like your mom. She's like, nope, calls me Fury. Like everyone calls me Fury. I
Your,
thought that
your
was
children? Yeah, when I have them, they'll call me Fury.
Fury. Yeah, their chemistry was really great. And
I do think in like the first half, I liked what they did with the scrolls, like as bad guys. I thought they were like badass in the first half because they were
yeah,
like scary looking, and
and
the
like
main
they
scroll
had
was
that
like really
ability.
cool.
It's all about deception. Yeah,
So I was kind of hoping they were gonna be bad guys. I was really hoping that at the end, both the scrolls and Kreese were gonna be bad guys, and then they would be like,
that
yeah,
would have been awesome.
war's bad on both sides, and you can see that.
Yeah,
I think that would have been really cool, but
I
they didn't
feel
go that
like
direction.
that could still happen because those are just the scrolls um from Marvel's lab who ended up being crazy. I was like, oh great. I was kind of rooting for her. Then I was like, nope, she's crazy. I think my probably one of my favorite parts is when she gets captured when Carol gets captured by the scrolls at first, and she's like she's hanging upside down and like she breaks off.
Yeah, that was a really cool montage.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, that was really awesome. They're like, oh, go back. Like, speed up a little bit. They're like, like, and they're trying to like make her focus on certain details. It's like reliving, like, pretty much reliving your life. But like, when she's trying to escape, escape the ship, and one of the scrolls is like, blah, and she's like, blah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that was funny.
She literally kills them all with her hands tied behind her back, pretty much.
Oh man, it was great. I want to see it again. Like I don't know, like I shouldn't be this excited about it, or I don't know. Just in general, I really did enjoy myself with this movie, man. Like I went in, saw it in the Dolby Cinema. I highly recommend anyone out there if you have an AMC A-list movie pass subscription, if you have a Dolby or IMAX theater by you, to use that to your full advantage, because your movie pass subscription also covers those, so you don't have to go to normal standard showings all the time. So honestly, if you saw just one movie per month in like a Dolby or IMAX cinema, it pretty much pays for itself. And even going multiple times throughout the month, really it's more of a bang for your buck. But AMC A-list movie pass, everyone, definitely check it out for sure. But actually I wanted to ask you, so I had a question for you. So between, I think this was still more of a little bit like of a palate cleanser as Ant-Man and the Wasp was, but based on the previous movie, which would be Ant-Man and the Wasp, which one did you enjoy more between Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I'd have to say I'm still like brewing over Captain Marvel. Still like
Yeah.
thoughts about it going through my head. I haven't completely fleshed it out yet,
I
but
definitely have to see it a second time to make my final decision. But as of right now, like in this moment, I would say that I enjoyed Captain Marvel just a little bit more than Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is weird because Paul Rudd and
I think I'm
Imagine, like-
more Ant-Man and the Wasps right now because it was a full-on comedy more so
yeah,
than
that
this.
is very true. Very true. That is very true. It was the 100% palate cleanser. This was more of like an appetizer, like a midnight snack before Avengers Endgame. But let's talk about that mid-credit scene.
Oh boy!
Oh my gosh, dude! Like,
Okay,
I was
so
like, oh yeah,
this-
we're getting into this. You got Black Widow.
Do you think that's an actual scene from Endgame, or do you think they just made it for this movie end credits?
Based on Marvel's history in the past, I would say that it's actually a little snippet from Endgame.
Yeah, because I know they did that at the end of the first Ant-Man. They did an actual scene from Civil War.
And they
So
did
it could
one
be
for
similar.
I think it was Doctor Strange when for Thor Ragnarok, I want to say. I can't really remember, but I know there was a mid-credit scene that they took straight out of the movie that they actually used within the movie as well. But like freaking, oh my god, Brie Larson scared the shit out of me, dude.
Her hair looked way different.
Yeah.
She's really changed in the 20 or whatever years.
Yeah, she's just like, where's Fury? I was like, wow. I was like, holy crap. I'm like, where did you come from? But yeah, that was.
But that's the thing that I'm really worried, because if Captain Marvel comes in for Endgame and saves the day, that's going to be really awful to me. Because there's been 20 years of setup for these heroes that we already know
Right.
and love, and if they're not the ones that get the job done, and this overpowered hero just comes in and saves the day, it's going to be really detrimental to the MCU in my mind.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I definitely, that would be a concern. But I think with the Russo brothers,
yeah, I do trust the Russo brothers.
I trust
I'm just
them a lot.
hoping,
Yeah,
hoping they don't have her just come in and.
I think
save
she's
the
going
day.
to be a big help.
She'll definitely help. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that she would deliver the ending blow. I honestly think it would either be Captain America.
It has to be either
or
the
Thor,
main three,
or or Iron Man in general. Yeah, I don't think Captain Marvel. Wow, see, I was afraid this was going to happen, and it's happening. I think Captain America would have, they would definitely pay homage to that. And speaking of homage, really quick, that Stan Lee opening that they did was
really cool.
Was really cool and just amazing.
Bunch of pictures of him with the different parts of the cast.
Yeah, and I did enjoy his cameo on this one. It was quick to the point. It wasn't anything crazy. I know that he also filmed one for Endgame and for Spider-Man Far From Home. So once we do reviews on that, we'll definitely talk about this.
This is one of the more heartwarming ones because they just had a big smile. Like,
yeah,
she was judging everyone on the train to see who was a Skrull.
Yeah,
and you can tell he was one of the good guys. Yeah,
and that was great. Like, there was this one guy who, in my theory, he's like, oh, he's like, of course he's gonna smile, like he's dead. I'm like, they shot this before he passed away, right? Like, but yeah, overall, the audience that I saw it with, everyone liked it. Everyone clapped and everyone laughed at the funny parts.
There were a lot of laughs at the Goose scenes in my theater. It really made it a better experience.
Oh yeah, Goose is great. Gotta love Goose. Best cat ever.
As far as the other end credit scene, Goose burping up that Tesseract. It's pretty important.
I'm like, wait, where is it? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's inside of Goose. And then honestly, I thought it was literally just going to be an empty desk of Nick Fury and then nothing happening because it's just like no one's there, like present day. Then I saw Goose come in. I'm like, oh, this is still, during the time of Captain Marvel.
One other thing we have to talk about is at the end when Fury is typing up the Protector plan or whatever, and then he sees a picture of Carol Danvers
her
plane.
Yeah.
And it says Carol the Avenger Danvers or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was like really lame. It's just like we don't need to know why he came up with the name. It's the exact same thing that happened in Solo.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say that. I'm like, I don't care how he got his name. It's just
so
name.
Forced.
Yeah. Or like when, towards the end of Venom, that post-credit scene, he's like, there's gonna be carnage.
Yeah, every time people explain a name, it's super lame.
I think I would have liked it a little bit more if you would have said the Revengers and then the backspace and put the
yeah.
The
Flurkins.
The Flurkins. I'm getting revenge. You're getting revenge. Are you getting revenge, Bruce? Undecided. Gotta love that movie. Well, all right. So, scoring time out of 10. Do you want to do out of 10, or do you want to switch over to a grading scale from an A to an F with
We could even go out of 100, like the big time movie boys over at Lights Camera Barstool.
Lights Camera Bar. Okay, let's do it out of 100. What would be your rating out of 100? Because I feel like that's more scalable.
I'd give it about a 70.
70?
Because it definitely had its issues. For your showing, halfway through mine, I think my theater projector was messing up because there was this weird effect, like it was in 3D, but we didn't have glasses
that
on.
almost happened with me when I went to go see was it Alita Battle Angel? I think it was Alita Battle Angel. But it happened during the previews. It looked like it was in 3D, but it wasn't.
Yeah, there was this weird shading outside of the people. You could see weird.
Yeah.
That happened to me during the movie. I don't know.
I see.
I guess it was just my theater.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. Yeah, I think when I went to go see Alita, that was the last movie I went to go see, right? I think. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. No, it was during Green Book, I think. I can't remember. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, it happened to be during the previews, and they caught it just in time. There was one preview left, and they fixed it. But no, that did not happen to me during Captain Marvel.
So that's good, because that means it wasn't the movie that was doing it.
No,
but,
yeah, definitely.
As far as the CGI and effects go, like you said, the de-aging was perfect.
Yeah.
But I thought some of the action scenes were kind of
too
cartoonish.
Bright.
Yeah, a little too bright and not the best looking.
Yeah, and I think the oh my god, the directions of this, I don't think they've ever made a big budget movie like this before. I'm pretty sure they've worked on smaller projects, and I'll have the IMDb link for synopsis and everything else down below for this review in itself. But so you gave it a 70 out of 100. I'm gonna go 78 out of 100. I really did enjoy this movie. I thought at first, it hitting the ground run, it ended on a really great note. And I'd rather have a movie kind of find its footing during the first act, and then second and third acts, it just takes off. And this movie literally took off for me, at least. And I'm definitely gonna go see it again. Absolutely. But yeah,
one of the best supporting characters, like Ben Mendelsohn's Talos and Jude Law as Jan Rog. I thought they were both really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Ben Mendelsohn almost always plays the bad guy in a movie, and he was for the first half of this, but then ended up being really touching character.
Yeah. I really did enjoy the Skrulls in this this movie when he kept getting freaked out by Goose.
Threat level high.
Yeah, and I also like how Brie Larson, or how Captain Marvel got her iconic colors. It was kind of just like a nice little touching.
Yeah, those two other characters, the mom and daughter, were really cool. They really humanized Captain Marvel. The daughter especially was really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And apparently in the comics, the daughter plays a superhero when she grows up, named Photon, and that was the name of her mom's ship in one of the pictures.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
So
definitely
they kind of
into that
alluded
back.
to that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That was sweet. And then they actually, like you change your colors. He's like, how about I'm on your side, and pointed to his shirt. I'm like, that's nice. That was good. She has great chemistry with everyone on that cast.
Yeah, Brie Larson was great.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So, was there anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap up here?
I just can't wait for Endgame. It's 7 weeks away.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's gonna be amazing. There's so much going on that weekend, dude. We have Endgame. We have the Battle of Winterfell going on for Game of Thrones. For my Game of Thrones fans out there, Devin already knows I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. And the NFL draft is that weekend as well.
It's going to be crazy.
Down in Music City, USA. So that'll be fun. But, yeah, let's just wrap it up there. Thank you, Devin, for coming on as always. Thank you for everyone out there listening to our review. Let us know what you thought of Captain Marvel. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Just leave all your comments in the section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy our content. And always make sure to share this video with a friend, someone who enjoys superhero movies as much as we do. So we will see you guys in the next one.
This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.